And the Lumen Christi Award honors these remarkable individuals and the ministries they lead. Joe Boland, Chief Mission Officer for the Catholic Extension Society, joins us now. Joe, welcome back to This Is the Day. How are you?
Thank you so much, gentlemen. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you very much for having me.
So, well, it's great to have you. For viewers who may not be familiar with what Lumen Christi Awards are and why it is such an important part of Catholic Extension Society's mission, can you explain it to them?
Yeah, it's our highest honor. It goes back to 1978. And this is a way for Catholic Extension to really shine a light on the Lumen Christis, pun intended, of the Catholic Church, the people who are radiating and revealing the light of Christ in the communities where they serve. And so this award goes all the way back to 1978. We've given it out every year, and it's a way for us to celebrate all the magnificent, all the wonderful things happening in the Catholic Church that we might not know about, but are nonetheless happening at scale every single day. And this is our way to celebrate all those wonderful accomplishments, all those wonderful things happening in the name of the gospel.
Joe, from what I understand, more than 45 bishops from across the country. That's pretty impressive. Submitted nominations this year. As you reviewed this year's candidates, what are some of the things that might have stood out to you about these men and women being recognized?
Yeah, so I've obviously had an opportunity to get acquainted with all the 45 nominees who come from across the country. They literally come from Alaska all the way to Puerto Rico, many areas in between. And the thing that really struck me as I read their stories is that this is a group of people who, in the words of Mother Teresa of Calcutta, they do very small things with great love. That's really what defines this group this year, the self-giving, the self-sacrificing. I know we have two finalists this year. I'm thinking of two women, one working with African-American youth, another working in Montana with youth in a very rural context. Both of them giving of themselves, not only their time, but also their money, because they saw that there was no youth ministry in their area, and they wanted to make sure that young people experienced the beauty of the Catholic faith. And so these are tremendous stories of people who aren't just giving lip service to their faith, but they're putting their whole selves in it, and in some cases too, their treasure as well.
Yeah, one of this year's finalists, I believe, is a priest from El Paso whose ministry has helped form tens of thousands of lay leaders. Can you tell us more about him and the impact he has had on his community?
That's Father Arturo Banuelas, and he comes from the Diocese of El Paso, Texas. He was born in a small town of Pecos, Texas. Actually, Catholic Extension helped build the church where he's from, where he grew up. But he became a priest, and as a young priest in the Diocese of El Paso, he made a pilgrimage to Tepeyac, where Our Lady of Guadalupe appeared. And he just really felt in his heart that Our Lady of Guadalupe was asking him to build up the Catholic Church by building up the laity. And so he went back home. He founded the Tepeyac Institute, which has been around for decades now. 82,000 people have been trained and empowered through the Tepeyac Institute. Father Arturo, by the time he retired at his parish at St. Mark's, which I know Bishop Reed visited when he was on a visit with Catholic Extension, there were 7,000 people coming to Mass on Sundays, and there were 70 different ministries with all of these great lay leaders that had been educated and empowered through Father Arturo. And so it's just a tremendous story about the power that one individual can have to inspire others around them. He's radiating the light of Christ.
And another finalist, I understand, has ties to Boston as well. Tell us about Mother Maria Marie Lucas and the unique mission of her religious community she founded.
Yeah, I think the headline could be The Amazing Mother Marla. She is a Maronite Catholic. She's a foundress of a religious community, the only Maronite Catholic community of religious sisters in the United States. She founded it. She's relatively young herself. For those who don't know, Maronite Catholics are basically Lebanese Americans, and they're in full communion with the Pope. And so their church spans a large geographic area, She travels from Maine to Florida to serve all the Maronite Catholics up and down the eastern seacoast. And, she's doing retreats, she's doing catechism, Bible studies. She's got unbelievable energy. She was actually a journalist before she entered the convent. She was a Washington Post journalist, left that, and was inspired to be a sister, and is now a foundress, inspiring other young women to join this community. And it's really a community of evangelization to help, spread the love of Christ, the light of Christ, which is the name of her community, to the Maronite Catholics, to the Lebanese American community in the United States.
So these 8 finalists each receive support from their ministries, but one will ultimately be named the national recipient of the Lumen Christi Award. What happens next in the selection process, and how do you celebrate the winner and their work?
Yeah, so we're moving towards that moment where we will name our national honoree among these 8 finalists who have just been named today. And what will happen is that individual or group will receive $100,000 from Catholic Extension. It'll be presented to them and to the bishop that nominated this person or group. And the proceeds will be split from among them to benefit their ministry. And the thing that we love to do when this moment comes, and we'll name the recipient in late September or early October, is we love to plan an enormous celebration. Because really what this award is not about putting an individual or the nominee on a pedestal. It's about celebrating an entire community. That indeed this person is radiating the light of Christ, and now an entire community has received that light of Christ and is now bearing it for others. And so we've had these enormous celebrations over the years. Last year we were in Puerto Rico under a tent where a pastor of a church received the award along with his school principal. And their church and school had been destroyed by an earthquake. But there we were under the tent with the entire town together, celebrating that the light of Christ was present in their community. And that's what we'll hope to do this year as well with this year's national honoree once they're named.
That's great. We want to let people know always about Catholic Extension Society. Where can people find out more about Catholic Extension and also about the Lumen Christi Award?
Yeah. Please read about these wonderful nominees. It'll make you proud to be Catholic. These are stories that we often forget about or think that they're only in a bygone era, but these are courageous people doing wonderful things in the name of our faith, and you can find out about them at catholicextension.org on our website and find out about them and some of the other work that Catholic Extension does throughout our country in the poorest regions of our country.
You do great work, Joe, as Catholic Extension Society just really makes a difference in the world. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Joe.
Have a nice day.